Allow me to share with you a story about a guy named Jephthah. Now, if you are reading your Bible in 1 year, you've probably either passed that or you should take note of this story because you're going to come up to it very soon. Well, we find this in Judges chapter 11. And as you can see here, Jephthah was apparently this guy who was the son of a prostitute in the tribe of the Gileadites. And in verse 2, we see that they drove Jephthah away, saying, "You're not going to get any inheritance in our family because you are the son of another woman." Basically, Jephthah was the Old Testament version of Cinderella, the ugly stepson. Well, what we find later on in the passage is that Jephthah, as a mighty warrior, is called back to the tribe of Gilead, where the elders want to make him their leader. Now, for you and I, we're probably saying to ourselves, "Now you like me as a leader?" And what ends up happening is, as he does lead, he leads in such a way where he doesn't retaliate or offer payback to the Gilead, which I think is commendable, and actually has victory over the Ammonites. But the interesting thing about it is that he makes a vow, and we see that the vow that he makes is found in verse 30. "And Jephthah made a vow to the Lord, 'If you give the Ammonites into my hands, whatever comes out of the door of my house to meet me when I return in triumph from the Ammonites will be the Lord's, and I will sacrifice it as a burnt offering.' When Jephthah returned to his home in Mizpah, who should come out to meet him but his daughter, dancing to the sound of timbrels, his only child?" What a heartbreaking story. And what we see here is that Jephthah makes a vow. He says, "If you give me the Ammonites, I'll whatever comes out of my door, that's going to be a burnt offering." I suspect he thought maybe a pig or a chicken would be able to come out, and that would be the burnt offering that he would give. But what comes out? His daughter, of all things, his only child. And what we see later on in this story, which is probably one of the saddest stories in the Bible, is that after 2 months, she returns to her father, and he did to her as he had vowed. You know, we often talk about the Abraham-Isaac story, the near sacrifice that he's about to kill his only son. But, as we look at Jephthah, he doesn't get the happy ending here. Furthermore, what we find out is later on, the Ephraimites press up against Jephthah and the people of Israel and basically war against them. And Jephthah ends up killing 42,000 Ephraimites. His leadership time was about 6 years. And I think there's some things that we can take away. It's a sad story, probably during one of the saddest times that we're experiencing now, to be able to share with you this sad story. But I think there's great encouragement that we can take away. And that as a leader, you and I, whether you're a pastor, a teacher, a manager, a director, a team leader, whatever that might be, maybe we have people that are under us that don't like us right now. And there will be that time where they'll ask us to lead. And it's important for us to remember it's not a time for payback. It's time to lead as God calls us to lead. And then, as we can see in Jephthah's case, not everybody gets a happy ending. But what we get to see also is that Jephthah becomes part of the bigger story. That bigger story is that as he leads, as God calls him to lead, that he can take the unhappy ending, the people that hate him, and use it for victory, for God's purposes. Maybe that's the lesson that we need to know today, is that the sad stories that we have, the unhappy endings that we have, the people that hate us, God can take those things and use it towards a bigger picture in the future, maybe one that we will never realize in this present day. May God bless you, and maybe not have a great day today, but have a better day than you had yesterday. Thanks for watching.